was long. I couldn't keep myself from feeling overwhelmed about everything that has come upon the both of us. Kokichi's in danger, and Kurai has something to do with it. I hate that man. What he has done to my Kichi, it makes me so angry. I flinched when I felt Kokichi move from under me. I noticed my hand was clenched on the seat next to his head. He began slowly moving towards my other hand. What is he doing? I thought he was angry with me. Confused by the random behavior, I moved my hand to gently pet his hair. He smiled at this and moved closer to my stomach as his head was on my lap. I blushed a bit at this, but keeping my focus on him, smiling a bit at his behavior because maybe the real Kokichi is still in there. The one I fell in love with, and the one who fell in love with me. Like two stones, one on a high hill, while the other is in the water at the hill's lower parts. The stone at the top wonders why it is the only stone out there, all on its own, while the stone at the water looks up at the top, wanting to be the stone up there, because it wasn't so cold, because the sun touched the grass up there. But what the stone at the top didn't know was that a storm was coming. The clouds behind where the stone could see told of a coming storm. The stone at the bottom tried to call out to the other to warn it, but it was no use. When the storm came, they were brought together by the water at the bottom. This is as Kokichi and I, apart because of the separation of how I, being a lowly vampire, while he, being a bright human, were brought together because of the bond we share. He was used to being human. Sure, I was human before as well, but after living with it for months, I was used to the pain it causes. But Kokichi had to suffer this affliction as well because of how I bit him. Just as the storm tossed the other stone down the hill to fall into the water, it was my fault for causing him this pain. My fault for making him have to be this way. I should have never come into his life, because without me, he could be at the top of the hill, laughing with dice by his side. If we never were bonded when we were younger, then maybe now he would be safe.
Shuichi?
Anaki asked, looking back over at me. I blushed a bit, noticing that I had started crying. I quickly moved my hand to wipe my tears. I felt embarrassed because of the weakness I had shown just now to someone other than my lover.
It's alright, you know,
she said, making my head perk up as my face said, "What?" She smiled a bit and slowly opened her mouth to reveal her own fangs. My eyes widened at this. Anaki has been a vampire this whole time? Maybe this is why her and Cathy have this connection that they do. Maybe this is why she was the one to come and pick the two of us up.
To cry.
She finished her statement.
We all do it, and from one vampire to another, it's best to let those feelings out,
she said, before turning back to the road. I thought about this for a moment. So, Anaki is a vampire, just like me, Cathy, and now Kokichi. So there are no humans in this vehicle. That's an odd thought. I sighed to myself and moved my hand back to Kokichi's hair while the other one went to rub his shoulders. This made him relax a bit more as the car ride slowly became more bumpy.
This is the old tunnel. Knowing this, the ride is going to be rougher from here on out.
Cathy said back to us before Anaki laughed a bit at the comment. Cathy looked over at her.
Right, I keep forgetting,
she said with a laugh as well.
Forgetting what?
I asked, feeling more and more clueless about how they must know each other. But I let it slide for the time being. Well, for a moment anyway.
Cathy and I are both physical vampires, unlike you and Kokichi who are emotion-based because of the elements that have chosen you. So, Cathy can summon blades, and I can relieve, meaning that any old place I come to, I can make it go back to its original state. I can do the same with people, but sometimes it can cause other problems if I'm not focused.
Anaki said, before she stopped the car right at where the lighting ended. I didn't say a word as silence passed when Anaki stepped out of the car and put her hands on the wall. Her hair turned a glowing shade of white at the roots of her hair, and it was very interesting to look at. The room around us started to dimly glow for a moment before the whole room was lit with a very bright white light. This made my eyes hurt because of how bright it was. This only lasted a few moments before the walls had turned to what seemed to be a time when the tunnel was new and fully functioning. I stared in awe at this before Anaki got back in the car, switching spots with Cathy.
Let's get going then,
She said, sounding a little breathless before Cathy nodded.
No time to waste.
The car started up again as Cathy was driving. It was a fast ride to the shrine. Well, the car was moving fast, but the ride was rather long to get to the shrine. I looked back down at Kokichi.
I promise you will be okay soon. I promise you will be okay.
I whispered before planting a kiss on his forehead.
I promise.